set, go.
What's going on, everybody? You're now tuned to the one and only podcast with Desean Jackson, Fade the Booth. I got the money, but my pride keep me in the streets. I got the hustle, but we guarantee we gon' hey. You won 5 Grammys, 11 BET Awards. Too hard, you gotta get up off me.
Man, if I get a chance to play with them, it's over.
So I felt like, no, I will not lose. I cannot lose.
A lot, much respect, no disrespect.
All across the world, yeah, my name ring bells.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the one and only Desean Jackson. You now tuned in to Fade the Booth. Got a special guest on today. Got the beautiful Miss Rocsi Diaz. How you doing?
What's going on, D? This is so funny to see you kind of doing the reverse side of what I used to do to you.
You see how life goes, man. Things change up, and I'm sure you probably like, dang, look how he's done entered into your world. This your world. I'm kind of entering into your world now.
I love it. I don't think there's any such thing as like staying in your box. And if one person knows how not to stay into a box, it's definitely you. So I love it. Keep doing your thing. I love it.
For sure. So yeah, let's get into it. I have a pleasure to start my own podcast up, and for me, it's a good way to give our viewers some insight on you, what makes you special, unique. And for me, I just want to get straight to it and ask, how did you get into the entertainment things? Like growing up, let the crowd know where you came from, how you was raised. But yeah, I'm curious to know how you got into the entertainment side.
Well, for me, it really was just the vibe of the city I grew up in, which is New Orleans. So who dat nation all day long. So
for sure.
You already know. Yeah. I'm a huge fan. But I hung out, I had friends that were in the music scene in New Orleans, which was huge. And I hung out with them a lot. And then I was interning and learning the radio. And radio was really my entry level and my entry point to entertainment. I was a great radio personality. I was successful at it and across several different markets. And then BET does this talent search. And I was like, why not try it? Actually, it was Ludacris was like, try it, like, see what can happen. And the rest is history. 106 & Park was my first television gig, and it really was the foundation to everything that I've learned in this entertainment business.
Yeah, that's interesting. You say, how do you think the cultures have switched since back then 106 & Park, and having artists come on, like you said, Ludacris being like one of the first big artists, but like now to where we're at in hip hop, how do you think hip hop has changed from back then when the 106 & Park was going, when it was you and AJ and like everybody, the talent all had to go to 106 & Park? Like now things has changed. Like how do you think it's switched, and what's the hip hop era like for the
social
world?
Media. Definitely social media. Like back in the day when Free and AJ first started hosting 106 & Park, there was still a mystery and a lot of mystique in an artist. You didn't really get insight into what was going on behind Timbaland or Jermaine Dupri or Puffy or Biggie or any of those guys. You didn't know what was happening because we didn't have social media back then. So you went to the night shows and the 106 & Parks to like fill in, tell the world what's going on. Now you have your social media, you have your Instagram. You don't really need to have a publicist or someone managing you. You can put out your own music. You can, market yourself. You can start your own podcast. There's so many different ways that you don't really need that outlet of 106 anymore. But I do think that what 106 & Park did was create an outlet on television that a lot of artists never would have gotten an opportunity to have. And it's a shame that it's not around anymore, because I feel like a lot of this younger hip hop generation would see a different caliber of what it is to be an artist if shows like 106 & Park were still around. I think they would be held to a higher standard. Social media is one standard, but the world is another standard. You see people, unfortunately, things happen in the news and you're like, well, who was that? Social media knows who they were, but the world wasn't privy to the artist and everything like that. So I think that's what's missing with this generation right now.
100%. I talk about it all the time. Like I tell, in the sports era, like when I first came into the NFL, we didn't have social media. Like my first 5-6 years, there was no social media. So nowadays, the social media, people can, at the stab of a finger, just blow up off of one clip or for one highlight. Back then we kind of had to get out the mud and grind for, our success. So nowadays these kids just think they can be all world just off of one clip and go viral off of one thing. And it's like they bigger than the world now,
But in return, Desean, you can lose your entire career off of one click or one wrong tweet or one wrong post or something like that. So it's like the power of what it could do for your career and take away from your career. It's something that people should really, 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 I preach it all the time when I go talk to high schools and colleges. I'm like, like everything doesn't have to be posted because your future job employer is going to be looking at that just as much as they're looking at your resume, so you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot at the end of the day.
Man, that's crazy. You said I had to learn the hard way for
Yes, you did.
a mistake I posted, but that's neither here nor there. I learned my lesson from that. But honestly, I got a question for you. So as far as 106 in Park, right? Like, AJ and Free was first, and you and Terrence J, and then Bow Wow and Keisha. Like, did you study Free and AJ before, or you just kind of got into a role and you just took it as is?
So I of course knew who they were, and of course I watched the show, but Terrence and I came in being Terrence and Rocsi. It wasn't us trying to be. You study everybody. I tell everybody, study everybody. I studied Oprah. I studied, at the back then, Ricky Lake, like all of them, like Geraldo Rivera when he was back on TV, like everybody you study. But really, my foundation was radio. And if it wasn't for my radio career and knowing that base level of live timing, commercials, segues, all of that stuff, if it wasn't for radio, I wouldn't have had as much experience going into 106 in Park than somebody like fresh off green, never done anything in their life, So I always credit radio to a lot of my foundation and what I've done. And to be honest, when I got on 106 in Park, I had already interviewed a majority of the artists that were there. Like, it's funny, I ran into Mario, the R&B singer, last week, and I was like, my gosh, I remember when you were 15 and you started, like, and mind you, I wasn't that much older than him when he started too, but it was 5 years. But it was like, I was already in radio and he was just a baby starting. And it was like, damn, like you grow up so fast. So a lot of people that came through 106 Park, I had already somehow, some way had a rapport with them, and radio helped me with that. It really, really did.
I definitely credit y'all because, I done been on some TV shows and I done played my little parts in movies, and it's like reading the teleprompter and trying to like do that on the fly. Like that's a very powerful skill to have, It's not just no easy thing because you get up there and it's like, it's live. It's like if you mess up, like you're going to be looking crazy. So it's like, that's a lot of pressure. That's almost like playing a football game around all these, fans, and you got to come through when you need to.
You definitely have more pressure than me. But what I always tell people too is like, dude, you're human. You're not a robot. You're going to mess up. Like, it's okay. That's what makes you even more human. And then you pick up and tomorrow's another day. You do it again. You just get better and better at it. I mean, we didn't start off reading teleprompter right off the back, not sounding a little robotic. It took time. So thankfully, at the beginning of our career with Terrence and I, we had those people that really invested in our skill. We had a media coach. We went through the training. But one thing you can't teach is personality and
charisma,
just the real, like the just likability, you know what I mean? Across the board. You can't teach that.
Definitely. No, that's dope. And I know your time is short, but I just want to ask a few more questions and get into like, the artists you worked with and the artists you interviewed. Like, who are some of like your most favorite, or like some of the people you looked up to that you got a chance to interview or maybe got to meet? Like, who is that be?
Well, growing up, Oprah was always like there, for me. And so being able to interview her on several occasions, and you know what it is, Desean? It's like, it's sometimes I gotta pinch myself. I'm like, oh shit, like I'm around this person. Like I could go up to Halle Berry and be like, hey,
they're a real person, right?
It's just, there's already a camaraderie and a respect level for me as a journalist and them as an artist. But I do have those like pinch myself moments, like this motherfucking Halle Berry. Like, this is like, are you serious? Like, I grew up watching her, or J-Lo. I'm like, J-Lo, like, you just can't help it. There's something, there's the excitement within you. Right. Funny story. I swear to you, this is so stupid, but it's so funny. I'm a huge Law and Order SVU fan. And Detective Stabler is like my guy, right? But Chris Maloney, the actor, comes to Entertainment Tonight and he walks in and I froze. And I was like, because these people become such a part of your life, you know what I mean? So it's the same as the first time I went in front of Antonio Banderas, and I'm like, Zorro. Like, it's just, you have those moments, but that's what makes you human, because you're a fan. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I'm in front of Drew Brees right now, I'm falling the fuck out. You're going to be like, this, did Rocsi just do? I'm making it on the Shade Room because I'm going to embarrass myself.
I don't think that's impossible for you to be around Drew Brees.
I have never, ever met him. I've never come across him. I've never gotten a signed jersey from him, which is what I really, really, really wanted. It's on my bucket list. I don't have that.
I might be able to do something for you. I might be able to work. I might be able to do that for you. No, I got you for sure. So no, I got a part of the segment where we call it the Billionaire Talk. So the Billionaire Talk is basically some inspiration. What is some inspiration you could give to a young Rocsi Diaz, somebody that's sitting back trying to figure out how they can make it if they're stuck in poverty or somewhere where they have no hope and it's like almost impossible for them to make it? Like, how can you inspire and give somebody motivation from what you had to go through in your life and some obstacles when you was down and out? Like, what is some positive hope you can give a young, Rocsi Diaz out there that's trying to get to where you're at in your life?
Well, I'll definitely say this. Nothing is impossible. That's for sure. You know that. I know that. Like, it's really about your work ethic and your tenacity. I think that with this generation, and I'm not trying to like shade them, but they see things on social media and they think it happens so quickly. But there's been years into what people are doing. That fast, quick fame isn't always a great thing. But it's like you have to be ready to hustle, and if that means working for free, if that means working multiple jobs, if that means, taking a pay cut just to get in the door and be in the mix, it's all about who you know at the end of the day in your relationship. So, I would say save your money, invest your money, don't buy bullshit, like invest in yourself, invest in your craft and what you want. And if you can't be directly on TV right away, or you can't be right on the radio right away, you could always be a part of the street team. You could always be a part of the production team. You could learn how to edit, and then you're editing pieces, and then you learn in the behind the scenes. Like, I tell all my comm majors now that they have aspirations on going, and being on camera or being on the radio. And I tell them, I'm like, learn how to work that board. You better learn how to edit. You better learn how to, set up a live broadcast or whatever you have to do, so that way you bring more to the table than just being talent. Talent is only going to last for so long. You know that. I mean, there's an age limitation on all of us. So learn the behind the scenes, and that way you invest in yourself, and don't do it for the money. Because if you're doing it for the money and the fame, you're already doing it for the wrong reasons. Like, that's just not gonna last that long.
You gotta do it for the love.
Yeah, totally.
Nah, definitely. Is there anything else you want to leave the viewers? Like, anything we should stay tuned? Anything you got coming up? Like, what's Rocsi Diaz got coming in the works? We need to hear about it.
Oh my gosh, doing so many productions right now, and some new shows that I'm really excited about for the new year. But most importantly is my podcast and my YouTube channel that is starting up in January. A way that people could kind of see everything that I got going on, go through. We're still crossing our fingers for Alter Ego season 2, which will be absolutely amazing if that happens. But there's going to be a lot happening in 2022. I'm super, super, super excited. And of course, I'm going to tell you when I get to spend more time with you. But yeah, I'm running. They've scheduled this 3 times for us, and we can't get it together.
Hey, it's all good, y'all. I just want to tell you, I appreciate you for coming on, sharing everything you got going on. I wish you nothing but the best. And hey, turn it up. Good luck in your podcast too, for sure.
Thank you. You're going to have to come on.
I got you. I'm going to try to get you that jersey too. I ain't going to promise you nothing, but I'm going to work. I got you.
If you get that jersey for me, I will walk all 15 of your dogs. I don't know how many you're up to now, but I will walk.
Hey, for sure. You already know I have dogs.
I will dog sit for you for a whole year if you are able to pull that off.
All right. Watch what you ask for. I might be able to do it for you.
But they have to be based in LA. I'm not going to wherever the hell you are. Where are you now?
I'm in Vegas now. I'm not too far.
That's not that bad.
Yeah. I play for the Raiders now. So, yep.
Wait,
they moved. They moved. The Raiders moved to Las Vegas.
No, that's true. I'm supposed to know this.
I think like 2 years ago. Yeah,
I'm coming over. I'm coming to see you then. I'm coming to see a game in Vegas. I'm always in Vegas for the fights because I'm always doing my boxing thing. So
that's what I'm telling you. Come on, pull
there
up.
We go. See, the dog sitting is actually.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. It's an actual thing.
Yeah, it's an actual thing.
All right, for sure, Rocsi. Appreciate your time, man.
All right, bye, D.
Take care. Y'all have it. There she is, Rocsi Diaz. We out the building. Thanks for tuning in to Fade the Booth.
I got the money, but my pride keep me in the streets. I got the hustle, but we guarantee we gon' eat. I got a few plays, I'm quarterback, I'm Tom Brady, 12 in the pack, and I'ma throw it, get my arm crazy. If I'm playing too hard, you gotta get up off me. If I'm playing the ball, you can't come cross. 100,000 for this chain, that's small change. 10 mil for the crib,